Chips on the Grill, sponsored by Dale Seasoning and Don's Meat Shop.
Often you want a meal that you can just sort of set it and forget it and let the whole cooking process take care of itself. That's what we're doing here today with brisket. Brisket can be a little intimidating, but the cooking part's the easy part. Getting the brisket ready, that's where Chips on the Grill, along with Don's Meat Shop and Dale Seasoning, comes in. The brisket itself is taken from the cow. It's the section underneath the ribs. It has a lot of muscle and connective tissue. We're going to melt that muscle and that connective tissue, and this will be mouth-wateringly delicious. There are two basic parts of the brisket, the point and the flat. We today have the flat. In prepping the brisket, I like to inject mine. Now, you got little injectors like this, no good. You have medium-sized injectors like this, they'll work. But for this, we're gonna use a big industrial-strength meat injector. So what do you inject it with? Don's has a lot of pre-made injectables at the meat shop on Hickson Pike, but what we have done here is taken a little bit of beef base, cut it with a little bit of apple juice, and added in a few extra ingredients like a little bit of granulated garlic and a little bit of pepper. Stick it into the heaviest points of the brisket, pump away, and you want to do this 2 or 3 times in each section of the brisket itself. The next step, putting on the rub. Be very careful when you're choosing a rub because a lot of them are super salt intensive. So you want something with a little less salt, a little less sodium. All you have to do is read the ingredients on the bottle. It'll tell you in order of amounts exactly how high up the salt is. For this purpose today, we have gotten some of the delicious smoky dust sauce, and yeah, you can pick this up at Don's Meat Shop. Next step, putting on the rub. And you want to be very generous when you're applying the rub. You can even combine 2 or 3 different kinds. You want to make sure and coat the entire surface of the brisket thoroughly. And then when you get through, rub it all in by hand. And I say be generous with the rub because a lot of this, or at least some of it, will fall off once it hits the grates on the smoker. Once you have the rub on, make sure you're rubbing it in. You can pat it, you can massage it in. You just want to make sure as much of the dry seasoning sticks to as much of the brisket as possible. Then you want to flip it over and do the same thing. General rule of thumb, you want to do about 45 minutes per pound when you're doing a brisket. So this baby weighs in at about 10 pounds, so we're going to wind up cooking this for 8 to 10 hours on the smoker between 225 and 240. Now, let's hit the grill.
Why not give the gift of Dale's? Our new gift sets are perfect for the home cook or grilling enthusiast in your life. Snag one for yourself and you'll be all set for summer grilling. Now, back to the grill.
As you can tell, the brisket has barked up nicely. That's what you call the darker part of the brisket once it comes off the smoker. Very important, after it comes off, you want to let it rest for at least an hour. How do you know when it's done? When the internal temperature reaches 180, or you can slide a fork easily in and out. That is the key. And again, make sure and let it rest for a while. And you want to make sure and cut the brisket against the grain. That'll make it a little bit easier to chew. For Dale Seasoning and Don's Meat Shop, I'm Chip, and that is Chips on the Grill.
Chips on the Grill, sponsored by Dale Seasoning and Don's Meat Shop.